Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let me see who's here at this very interesting time. Joyce Anderson, thank you so much for being first on Royal Sussex. And happy Wednesday night to you or Thursday morning, depending on where you are. Didn't mean to do that. Just want to get rid of my face from the corner there. All right. So, one of the busiest people that I always say anybody who works harder than my father is probably one of the hardest working men to have ever lived. That includes Prince Harry. Harry is so hardworking. And the cool thing about it is that he makes it almost seem effortlessly easy. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if that was grammatically correct. Hello, Ann Fu, Emerald Derrick, Lydia Washington, Stacy Crenshaw, Rosemary King, Gail Anita One, Lady T, Cappy G, Noby D, Judith Reynolds, Judy Muscatins, Joya Moore, Mary H., and Louise Narcissus, Emma D., Maggie Howell, Brenda Phillips, and Katie B. Am I repeating myself? Shells Bells. Um, Let me see here. Lorna Williams, Mad World, and a host of friends and others. Okay. Allie, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. It was kind of hard to pull that one out that time. Hello, Black Queen. Let me open up another screen. All right. Okay, I'm going to open up another screen so I can see things as they are for everyone else. There we go. Very good. And get rid of that. So, some news just came in. I mean, literally just came in. And I'm going to share it with you. Like 42 minutes ago, someone shared it on the Centibale 44K. Oh my, 44K for Centibale. It rhymes. 44K for Centibale. I love it. Okay. Okay, I just saw that for the first time. All right. Let me get over here. And I'm going to say thank you again, Allie, and thank you for being here. All right, I'm going to just scroll to the end, make sure I don't miss anything. And, yeah, CBS Royal is here, right? Church Nelly. Okay, Brenda Phillips. All right, Nurse Wife Mother, Robin Hyde. Excellent, thank you so much. All right. The Invictus game starts on the 9th, right, through the 16th. I believe Harry's birthday is the 15th. That's coming up. Heart of Invictus began streaming on August 30th. And surely by now, everyone has seen it. At least I hope so. And perhaps maybe watched it a couple times already. Just put it on while you're doing your chores or while you're at work or while you're soaking in the tub or something like that. Just put it on. And also, if you have not rated Hearts of Invictus, remember you can rate that by going to the IMDb. You could also rate it on the Netflix. So please do that. And as for the Invictus games, there is a YouTube channel, you want to make sure that you are subscribed to that. And there is, of course, the possibility that you will be able to see the opening and closing ceremony for the Invictus Games. So, for those of us who are not attending, please do make sure that you are at some point subscribe to the Invictus YouTube channel. They're putting a lot of material out, and there's just not enough people watching it for the effort. I mean, they're actually producing short videos, and I'm sure that they are streaming those videos on other social media sites. But we also need to make sure that they are getting an adequate amount of traffic on their YouTube channel. It takes a lot to put that together. Ask me how I know that, but it does take a lot to put those things together, and we don't want their efforts to go in vain. So please do that. Okay, adult ADH, PTSD, or PTSI, and is that a name? Okay. Thank you for being here. All right. So Prince Harry's next TV appearance. I only put that up here. It has nothing to do with Kate. I just put that up there because I didn't want to forget to mention it. Oh, thank you so much for the link. Lydia put the link there. I'm going to pin it to the. Did I pin it already? How does it say that it's pinned already? Oh, did I pin it? Okay. Well, I'll do it again. I don't remember touching it. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. All right. Wow, that's weird. I'm tripping. Sugar Plum Cake, thank you for being here. Right. And hello, Louise Narcissus wants to say hi to a few people, so let me put that up there for her. There you go. And oh, I can't see that now. So nothing to do with Kate, but just I wanted to remember Harry's television appearance, which is going to happen on a German television station. There's a bunch of people that are, what do you call it? That are not a bunch of people, but a bunch of news groups, organizations over there that are heavily promoting Harry's appearance. As a matter of fact, if you guys remember a week ago, I said that, oh, I know what it was. They said a royal visit. And then one of the articles even said, this doesn't happen often that we have a royal visit. So Germany is going all out. And which is why, just like John F. Kennedy, I'm so proud to say, Ich bin ein Berliner. Very cool. All right, so this is what's hot off the presses. One of the squaddies posted this just before I went on. President Biden announces presidential delegation to attend the opening ceremony of the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf. President Joseph R. Biden Jr., I didn't know he was a junior, today announced the designation of the presidential delegation to Germany to attend the opening ceremony of the Invictus Games on Saturday, September 9th, 2023. More than 550 wounded service members will represent 21 nations and 10 adaptive sports, that is, at the Invictus Game. The Honorable Bill Nelson, NASA administrator, will lead the delegation. Also, members of the presidential delegation include the Honorable Dr. Amy Gutmann, U.S. Ambassador to the Federal Republic of Germany. Oh, the ambassador to Germany. Cool. The Honorable Carlos del Toro, Secretary of the United States Navy. The Honorable Cara Abercrombie, Deputy Assistant to President and Coordinator for Defense Policy and Arms Control, National Security Council, the White House. The Honorable Jessica Lewis, Assistant Secretary for Political Military Affairs, United States Department of State. The Honorable Terry Tennillian, Special Assistant to the President for Veterans Affairs, Domestic Policy Council, the White House. The Honorable Sheila Casey, Special Assistant to the President and Executive Director of Joining Forces, the White House. And Honorable John Tien, former Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Homeland Security. So those are the people that the administration are sending to Germany. I'm a little disappointed that Tammy Duckworth is not attending. She did go last year, but she won't be there this time. But Tammy Duckworth is a United States Senator from the state of Illinois, and she lost both of her lower limbs, part here and part there, in a helicopter crash. I'm trying to remember, was it an accident or was it shot down? But either way, she proudly represents the state of Illinois, and she was there last time. Also, don't forget, I would have shown you guys, but I promise you, I just got this last minute. There is a presidential coin, I'm sure. They minted one last time, a coin that the delegation presented as gifts to people. So I'm sure that they will mint something for this occasion, or have minted something for this occasion as the hour grows near. So there you go. That was that. Tomorrow we will welcome our WellChild Awards guests. We cannot wait to give the 2023 winners a night to remember. Watch along via the live stream at hellomagazine.com. Don't forget that you can watch via live stream if you go to hellomagazine.com. From 6:15 p.m., I suppose that's in the UK, which would be, I believe, 12:15 p.m. In the Midwest. And so on the East Coast, I think it's 5:15 p.m. I'm sorry, not p.m. What am I saying? 11:15 a.m. I think that's right. So anyway, recollections may vary. Check your local listings. But remember, that is going to be 6:15 p.m. their time, not our time. And for me, the UK is 6 hours ahead. So 6:15 p.m., stay with us all week on social media to see our winners' stories. WellChild Award, well, it's tomorrow, so let me see. They said all week. Well, that would be weird if they said it's tomorrow, but then they want us to stay all week to, well, you know what? The winners will be presented their awards, and then they'll just talk about it this coming week. So that makes sense. Okay. It's always dangerous when I try to figure out something. Oh, man. Don't let me sort something out. I will have everyone all confused. But again, thank you all for being here. Greatly appreciated. Thank you to the moderators for keeping this a safe space. And even through the haze of moonshine, even under the influence of rheumatism medicine, Church Nelly is here to help keep this a safe space. Of course, if there was ever a barroom brawl, I am going to stand behind Church Nelly. Oh, okay. Let me see here. Okay. Oh, there we go. So is next. There is, I'm going to change the pin, you guys. There is the replace pin. Now, there's the link to the WellChild. So that way you can make sure you watch this live while you're at work or at play or whatever you're doing. You'll be able to watch the WellChild live. Okay, so let me continue. Okay. Oh, so again, the well child. Let me see, Baron. Tell me more about. Tell me more about it. You're dangerous. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm what they call a loose cannon. So, what's ironic is Leonore. Yeah, Leonore. I want to say Leonora, but there's no A at the end. But Leonore for Sussex, as you can see, has a blue check mark. So I don't mind sharing the Twitter account here on the Royal Sussex. No parent wants to hear their child will suffer, that they will face extraordinary challenges that will affect them throughout their lives. And yet, after meeting all of the well child parents and the kids themselves over the years, you've managed to give all of us a sense of optimism, a sense of hope, and strength that no professional, no best-selling book, and no amount of advice can ever give any of us. So thank you for being you, Prince Harry Wellchild 2019. So what was so interesting is that I have a go-to photo of Harry that reminds me, and of course, whenever I share it, it reminds anyone else of the way Harry is when it comes to having that very, very loving touch, just like Princess Diana. Princess Diana, of course, would spend time with people that there were no cameras around. She would follow up. She would visit families. I love a story about some kid who was in a very bad accident, and Diana went to the house. And if you remember, I told you there was a documentary that covered all of these appearances Diana made, and there was only amateur video in the days before the smartphone. So it was not arranged by the palace, it was not arranged by Diana or anyone else, but the families who just happened to have some very primitive recording devices. And the one kid was so shocked that Princess Diana showed up. And he even asked Diana, "Why me?" And Diana told him that she made a promise to his mother that she would come and visit. And he did not understand. It just didn't register why he was so important, why all the neighbors were pouring out of their houses and standing in the street, one yelling over and over, "Diana, it's Princess Diana. It's the Princess of Wales." He couldn't, he probably still doesn't understand it, but hopefully he has figured it out that individually we may not have titles or fame or fortune, but in the eyes of God, we're all equals. We are should be equals under the law, and certainly equal in the eyes of God. So why wouldn't she come? And that was the Diana that, unfortunately, the palace, and the royal rodents have tried to allow people to forget about, or trying to discourage them from remembering or rewriting the history, I guess I should say. They're trying to rewrite the history. They're trying to eliminate her image by cosplaying other members of the family and such. If you guys remember, they were trying desperately to do that with the Countess of Wessex. Like, oh, look at there, we got another one, and she knows how to behave, was the mentality. So I was so surprised when I saw this. But the photo on the left side, that is the one that I had already planned to share. And then I came across this quote that Leonore had posted, and she also had that same photo. So I'm like, oh, it was meant to be. So yeah, that is like one of my favorite photos of Harry. As you can see, just like his mother, that very, very loving, healing touch, that very empathetic touch. You just cannot duplicate that. You can't make it up. You either have it or you don't. So that is just one of the many gifts that he received from his mother, is that ability to communicate with people without words, just by being there. So I always feel a certain way when I see that image. And then there is this little adorable ball of joy and his sibling. Where on the right, I think his name is Harry. I believe his name is Harry. And if you remember, you may recall that Harry had a conversation with Harry, and I will show you.
Call you Harry or not?
No.
Good man. I love that.
That's enormous.
Enormous.
It's full of beans today, particularly.
You've got
I
little
love
ones, haven't you? So you'll know what it's like.
I think it's brilliant.
Henry, why don't you show the prince your award? Hold it up and show it.
That is a very, very cool award. You know, I was supposed to be the one giving it to you, and I was sadly not able to be there. I'm sorry we didn't get to meet, Henry.
That's all right.
You tell you what, you sound just like my son Archie.
Really?
The same little squeaky voice. I love it.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? How was the night? How was it? Did you enjoy it? I know the whole thing was changed and it was cut short, but were you able to enjoy it?
Yeah, and we got to meet it was really nice to meet lots of other families and share experiences with them and talk about our journey with Henry and understand their journeys and talk to people who work for the charity and other nurses and stuff. So it was lovely. It was really, really nice. Really good.
Yeah, Henry's quite individual with his how good he is physically, running around. And so just him sitting down, it'd be a different picture if you saw him running around now. So everyone got to experience that at the awards. So I think it was a bit of a showstopper, really. Him and
Yeah. So tell me, are you a naughty Henry or you're a good Henry?
Good Henry.
Good. Henry.
You're a good Henry. Would you?
You've just started school, haven't you?
How are you and Levin doing?
How are Archie and Lilibet doing?
They're doing great. How old are you now?
I'm not 5 yet.
You're not 5 yet. When's your birthday?
16th of November.
Almost 15th of November.
15th of November. Wow. So it's literally just over a month away. Are you excited?
When is your birthday?
My birthday's on the 15th of September. Yeah, but yes, in answer to your question, Henry, Archie is very, very busy and Lily is learning to use her voice, which is great.
We know what that's like as well.
You have to, by the way, you have to continue being the brave boy that you are, okay? Not just for your mum and dad, but for your little brother as well.
I love him. He is absolutely adorable. Absolutely adorable. How could you not love him? Absolutely adorable. That's all right. How's Archie and Lily? Adorable. Adorable. I can see why Harry is doing this work. And I can also understand better why the WellChild totally rejected the idea of replacing Harry. They rejected that. The palace wanted Harry out of there. And WellChild would not have it. So, yeah, that's all I can say is yeah. Adorable. So that is little Henry. I don't know what his brother's name is, but that's little Henry. Okay, so let's go on to something else. Yes, it was a year ago today that Liz Truss, I would say she understood the assignment, but I think I think somehow she got it confused. There was only supposed to be a new prime minister, not a new monarch. So let's study this cartoon. As you can see, the queen is supposed to be the one to extend her hand. And of course, Liz Truss is supposed to kiss her hand and, the rest of it. Well, if you look in the background, you'll notice that there is Windsor Castle in the background, and there is John Brown, the loyal, trusted servant of Queen Victoria. Just a little interesting backdrop, that very famous painting. And FYI, I've actually seen the original painting when I visited Dumfries' house back in 2018. I saw it on the easel and I said to myself, God, that looks just like that painting. And then the tour guide said, and that is the original painting, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, so it is. So, yeah, this is an illustration from that period when Liz Truss, I don't know, you know, I would not shake hands with her ever. I don't know who shakes hands with her, but it won't be me. And of course, this is how the week started. Britain on Monday, there was the 70 years reigning Queen, Elizabeth II, and of course, Bojo, Boris Johnson. And by Thursday, there was Charles III and Liz Truss. I think a lot of us forget that all of that happened in just the span of a few days, but it did. Life had changed drastically for the people of the United Kingdom. But yeah, all of that happened that week. And of course, as the clouds gathered, the sky darkened, and of course, the Palace of Westminster seemed to be enveloped in darkness, Liz Truss began serving as the prime minister. And what was the first thing on her agenda? Take the pound and just drag it through the mud, drag it until people began to lose their homes, until the store shelves were empty, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawling in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. I screamed when I saw that. Someone on the Twitter took a good look at Liz Truss. It wasn't actually this photo, it was a different photo. Took a good look at Liz Truss and through the lyrics of Thriller. If you remember, Vincent Price had that little cameo. I guess, do you call it a cameo? But he had that little rap part of the song Thriller, Michael Jackson. Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. When someone looks at you and they think of Vincent Price and Thriller, there's something terribly wrong with you. Something that is not of this world. But I tell you, what a very, very, very strange week. I don't even know if people will care to remember all of the other stuff. I think because the Queen had been out of sight for so long and people were kind of used to not seeing her, and given her advanced age, it wasn't as strong an impact as it would have been if she was younger and more visible and just suddenly, wasn't there anymore. But this was very gradual over time. So it's hard to believe that was a year ago. For me, it just seems like it was so much longer ago, but it wasn't. It was just 365 days ago. And of course, Heart of Invictus review, veterans push through injuries to compete with the help of Prince Harry. This is the Chicago Tribune. This is one of several local newspapers that are writing articles or publishing articles about the Invictus Games. So as we grow nearer to the start of Invictus, this is news, and that's a good thing. I want as much exposure as possible. So the Heart of Invictus got off to kind of a slow start, but again, I'm hoping that articles like this, and of course the start of the Invictus Games itself, it is a wonderful documentary series, and I'm just going to say I am disappointed that it is not getting the type of attention it deserves. And I would blame the tabloid media for that, but I think there's something else going on, and can't be sure what it is, but um, I'm not going to just blame the tabloids, but they're not helping either. So it is something that is supposed to be a global event, the start of the Heart of Invictus. So you can't put all of the responsibility on the tabloids for trying to interfere with the success of it. So hopefully, more and more articles like this. The Chicago Tribune is one of the few remaining old school full size. Are they still a full size? I think they're still the full size newspaper, and they are distributed nationally. At least I know they were in the past, kind of like the New York Times. And of course, their journalism is still considered to be, I guess, something of quality in comparison to what we're used to nowadays. As, one of the articles that you may recall from the Chicago Tribune, remember the one about Charles? What was that one about Charles? Gosh, I'm trying to remember what the article was. Oh man, it was that article making fun of Charles, and it was from the 1990s or maybe the 80s. I don't remember the title now, but anyway, that was published in the Chicago Tribune. So it's a national newspaper. It's quality journalism, and also there was an article, I believe, in the Los Angeles Times, another old school big time newspaper, and so on. So let's keep them coming. And please, you guys, whenever you can, make sure that you are rating and supporting the Invictus, Heart of Invictus. We can't do it all, but if we can just do a little bit extra, every little extra bit helps. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so Omid Scobie set sights on Prince William and new book. Sussex's biographer, this is a Telegraph, so that's why you can hear that air of disdain in their writing. Sussex's biographer will dedicate a whole chapter to the Prince of Wales, a decision that will cause consternation at the palace. Well, if you're suffering from consternation, I say try prune juice, Metamucil. I don't know, have a teaspoon of fish oil in the morning. Don't blame don't blame Omid Scobie for your consternation. Try a fleet enema. Or since everybody assumes that it's the case, why don't you go back to Poland for a delicious pulled pork sandwich? That might help. Okay, now that's too much. So, inside the royal family and the monarchy's fight for survival, Endgame, Omid Scobie, New York Times bestseller, author of Finding Freedom. They say that the book is at the publishers, I heard earlier. So, yeah, the book is at the publisher. I don't know if I want the book. You know, I like Omid Scobie. I may go ahead and get it just to support him. There better be an audio book. Yeah, that's all I'll say is there better be an audio book. I think it would be interesting piecing what we know about everything, piecing all of the storylines together and such. It might be interesting to do that. I'm just saying. I'm not encouraging or discouraging anyone. You're adults. Do you, boo? Do you, boo? So, is Omid Scobie somehow biased against William? Well, let's just look at a few of his past tweets that I have held on to. So, UK Black History Month came and went, but not one royal engagement acknowledged it. Given that it's a month for celebrating and learning about the contributions, achievements, and impact of Black people in Britain, surely it would have made sense for the royal family to engage. Okay. And then, of course, breaking, a spokesperson for the Sussexes confirmed that Prince Harry has filed a legal complaint against Associated Newspaper publisher. So all of this is like one thread. Expect further detail of Harry's libel action. The news follows Mail on Sunday's recent breaking several stories. Okay, so there was that one. And then here's another one. In other news, Prince William has been called an, I'm sorry, let me pull that down so I can see it. Oh, that's it. Has been called an imperialist colonizer after blaming African population growth of wildlife loss. Again, the Duke's recent statement has been branded simplistic, racist, and out of touch by critics and leaders. Well, so far, Omid, I kind of feel a a bit of constipation. That sounds like a bit of constipation in my book. Does that sound like constipation to y'all? That sounds like constipation. So, Williams said the human population caused increasing pressure on Africa's wildlife during the speech at the award ceremony. Omid Scobie says Jason Knopf, Williams' former head communication, current Earthshot board member, claims he was asked to provide evidence by the Duchess of Sussex in male legal case. Meghan's legal team quite rightly point out that he was not asked anything of the sort. Huh. Come on, Omid Scobie. I should have been ringing my bell every time he threw one of his zingers out there. And how about this one? He wrote a column, Prince William's U.S. Earthshot trip, Super Bowl moment for royal family. Prince and Princess of Wales arrived in the United States on Wednesday in the shadow of the Duke of Sussex. Let's see, if tomorrow is Prince William's Super Bowl, then where's your halftime show? Woo! Omid, did you all hear that little sting right there? It was like, tss. Omid could be a bit catty when he wants to. If tomorrow is Prince William's Super Bowl, then I'm sorry, then here's your halftime show. Netflix has released the first look. He is literally trolling them by saying, here's your halftime show. Netflix have released the first look at the Sussex's docuseries, Harry and Meghan, out December 8th. 6 episodes will share the other side of their love story and the challenges they faced. Omid, I didn't know Omid talked like that. If tomorrow is Prince William's Super Bowl, then here's your halftime. No wonder they're worried about Omid's book. Damn, I didn't know Omid did that. Oh well. So, you guys, I'm starting to think maybe they should worry. Now, I don't want to get you all excited and then we find out that there's no teeth there. But I hope that those teeth are sharp and that they just tear into the carcass of the Wells's, Cambridges, or whatever they are. Just gnaw into their little narrow, non-existent behinds. So right here, you can see on the left side, there is the clip from, well, the trailer from the docuseries, and below you can see Workshop Willie and what's her name, Kitty. You can see them at that Boston Celtics games, where a game that is where they were booed. They were booed, and of course, look at what the Sun wrote: Prince and Meg's Netflix ambush. Harry's film sabotage of Will and Kate's bombshell clip timed to ruin U.S. tour. Kiss means war. Now, who came up with that title, Kiss Means War? Oh, anyway, so they're blaming the Sussexes for them being so boring that practically nobody realized that they were in Boston. And the thing is, let's go back to this one more time. Do they even know what a Super Bowl is? Do they get the idea of a Super Bowl moment? The Super Bowl is the biggest sports event in all of the United States. 330 million Americans, and let's say about half of them, in some way, form, or fashion, is watching that game, talking about the game, the Super Bowl. So, that being the case, how in the world was Earth Flop supposed to somehow compare to the Super Bowl? I mean, there's a lot of things they could have compared it to, but not the Super Bowl. This is a Super Bowl moment. So, I love Omid Scobie. This is your halftime show. Thank you, Omid. I couldn't have made that up myself. Oh, you guys, William is in trouble. William is in trouble. I predict that right now. Well, but then again, Omid Scobie is British. Omid Scobie lives, works, and plays there in the UK. Unless he's about to relocate to another country, I think the book will be somewhat brutally honest, very tamed by my expectations, of course. But it's going to be honest. It will be honest. Omid Scobie does not seem to be a liar. So there are times when, he's had to carry a certain tune, but he seems to operate independent of the rest of the Royal Rotors. So I hope that's the case. Kimco says Barron America already has a Super Bowl. Willie got booed in Boston at the Celtics game. He needs to give up American sporting events and stick to showing up as president of the FA at home. Kim Coates, is that really your name, or are you Omid Scobie? Are you Omid Scobie? Go ahead, tell the truth. Are you Omid Scobie? That was very Omid Scobie-esque of you. But yes, I get your point. Oh, and by the way, there is a PayPal I just received. Keep up the good work. Let me see. And this is from DL. I love your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. And thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. And there is a super sticker from, Knob, huh? Okay. Buy me a drink first, but okay. Let me see here. Edna Joseph, thank you so much. Wait, how did you know I was lonely? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a randy mood tonight. I promise you guys, I am going to behave myself. I promise you, I'm going to behave myself. My apologies. It's just, sometimes you get a little lonely. You look up and you see Knob, and it's just like, oh, all right. Don't mind. Oh, Lord. Is this burlesque or is this Royal Sussex? Sometimes I can't tell. I feel like at some point I'm going to end up on the piano in a sequin gown singing Angel Eyes. Okay. Okay. Now, what was I talking about? I got to oil this chair. Every time I laugh, it shakes. And every time it shakes, it squeaks. Okay. Maybe I should tighten up the bolts or something. But okay. Okay. I got that out of my system. Hi, Leslie F. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, man. Okay. You guys, we got to be serious now because Omid Scobie has a book coming out. Oh, here's another one right here. Do you guys remember Omid's tweet just before the Oprah interview? Omid has popcorn. He's got his Twitter ready. He's got his tea poured, and he has an inhaler just in case he has a bronchial spasm during the, Oprah interview. So I saved it from that time because I thought it was the coolest thing. So there you go. Listen, you guys, cut it out. We have moved on. Let me see here. And for those of you who haven't got it yet, don't worry. You will be washing dishes or walking down the street or on the bus, and it'll hit you. But for now, oh man. Okay. Angel eyes, that old devil sent, still is incomparably clear. All I need is a piano and a sequin gown and a microphone, and we will have a burlesque show. Okay. And then, of course, that is the interview. So, once again, were you silenced or were you silent? Were you silenced or were you silent? That was like, that was one of my favorite moments. This scene right here is going to be one for the record books, I'm sure. All right. And then trigger warning, Angela Latrine. So I'm just taking you guys, on a little walk so we can remember some of Omid's finest moments, like this one right here. I'll share what Kensington Palace officials told me at the time. Through Newsweek, Levin was given access to official engagements and chat with Harry in 2017. Then, without permission, she turned that material into a book. Harry was crushed and his team were furious. So Angela Levin was given access to Harry. In other words, she would accompany him on engagements. And it was an interview where he finally sat down with her for about 15 minutes in some reports, 15 minutes. And Harry had a conversation with her for a very short period of time. Listen, Harry has dealt with reporters his entire life. He knows a phony when he sees one. However, somehow there was an agreement that Angela Levin could write an article for the cover, for the front page, the cover of Newsweek. That was it. So if you guys are new to the Sussex squad and you don't know how Angela Levin has been labeled by the tabloid media as the author of Prince Harry's biography, it is because she spent time going on these engagements, never having a conversation with him. And then finally, he sat down and gave her an interview. And from that, she wrote a book. That's it. She does not know him. She doesn't know his ways. She knows what he's like when he's out doing official engagements. This is not someone that he likely shared a beer with. Angela Levin took her 5 minutes of attention from Harry and turned it into a job. She turned it into a career. So that is why she is constantly on television. And this is why it's so easy for her to badmouth him, is because they don't have a relationship to begin with. And Omid Scobie is the only royal reporter that I know that told the truth about it. She did not know him. She does not know him. They, like any other royal rodent, she was given the opportunity to follow him on, or in engagements, exclusively follow him on engagements. And she took that and turned it into her career. This is how she managed to buy those god-awful wigs. This is how she has purchased all of those scarves to cover up her necks. And this is how she has managed to keep flowers in her kitchen and who knows what else. But yeah, that's it. It was all because of that. No good deed goes unpunished. Good night, VS. Okay, why? Oh, I was about to say, why is my chat not moving? Okay, it is moving. Very good. All right, so that's that. Now, Omid Scobie also has here, it was terrifying to have my brother scream and shout at me and my father say things that just simply weren't true. And my grandmother quietly sits there and sort of takes it all in. Prince Harry on the January 2020 Sandringham Summit. So Omid has been very reliable as of late, for some time now, actually. He's been very reliable. He does not pretend to be a squatty. He does not pretend to be a friend, have a friendship with the Sussexes. He is not close to them. In spite of what you hear often on the tabloid shows, there, as far as I know, is no friendly working relationship with them. Now, there was an occasion when he shared a drink with them, along with other reporters. But they omit the fact that other reporters were there. It's not unusual for the royal family on these engagements, especially after, the end of the day of engagements, they might go and have a beer together. Well, Harry put a stop to that when Meghan came along, because with the abuse that Meghan received from the tabloid reporters, Harry thought it would be very disingenuous to pretend as though they're your friends when you have just attacked my wife. So no. And Harry did not want Meghan exposed to them. And this is why it wasn't that, of course, Hoghead wants people to think that there was a possibility of some connection of whatever sort his imagination has come up with. The thing is, I think Harry was like, who did you talk to? Oh no. And this was while they were dating. Oh no. That is a snake. Stay away from him. I'm pretty sure that that's how it happened. I'm not even going to say I think. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. So, um, yeah, that's what I suppose. So I see one person saying that the Compton Cali girl, you said my mic doesn't sound good tonight. Is anybody else having a problem? Because I don't think anything is different right now. But try to what do you call it? You know, go out and come back in or something. Yeah, I didn't think there was a problem. I mean, this mic has been incredibly reliable. So okay, so let us continue. But that is another truth bomb from Omid Scobie. And okay, so I think we're done with Omid. Let me get on to this one. Let me take a sip of water and I'll be right back. Okay, stop funding hate. Free speech is for everyone, not just for newspaper editors. These campaigners did what they did because they knew that is it was right, not because they were being paid. We all have a right to speak our minds. This doesn't mean anyone is obliged to subsidize our opinions or finance the dissemination of our views. So this is, I believe that was in, oh gosh, they ran this. Oh no, wait, did they? Let me make sure. I can't. Okay. Well, Stop Funding Hate is a Twitter page, right? So it is a Twitter page. So if you're on Twitter, you may want to go check it out because they are working to combat the tabloid media. Now, if I'm right, I think some of the people, or maybe one of the people, may have something to do with Byline, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But occasionally I do see some of the things that they tweet, and they are very interesting. The media plays a vital role challenging corruption, informing democracy, and holding government to account. Right now, that role is being undermined by a business model which is no longer serves the public interest. Financial incentives are pushing newspapers to play on hate and prejudice, demonizing some of its most vulnerable in our society from far from reporting fact without fear or favor. Elements of the UK press are practicing a kind of industrialized discrimination. Well, tell us something we don't know. I did not dig out that scale that shows you exactly which countries trust their media the most, but just off the top of my head, I believe the United Kingdom is, oh gosh, just above, I believe it's one of the Eastern European countries, but it is at the bottom. The UK is like maybe second or third from the bottom. I hate to say that because, you know, I'm an Anglophile and I love the UK. I love the people of the UK. I love the history. I enjoyed and I'm going to just, I won't even tell you how much I've spent over the years there, but off the top of my head, it was a lot that I contributed to the economy. And the more I learn, I don't regret that time. I don't regret those visits, but I am very disappointed because, like Harry, I'm very optimistic. And I believe that there is always that possibility that you could use the platform provided by the monarchy to do a world of good. You can use the platform that comes with being a journalist or being in media for a world of good. I grew up at a time when civil rights was on the menu, and I can recall how some of those white reporters would go into these rural communities or in these inner cities and report the news as they know it, and they would give the people a voice. They would report the prejudice and the violence. And right now, looking at the media in the US, the UK, and quite a few other places, Australia, I could not depend on even the legacy media to tell the truth or to speak truth to power, which is really sad. So, but we can do our share by avoiding it. Now, because of Royal Sussex, I find myself in some very dark places for material, and also to dissect and try to understand things. But I tell anyone that if you feel like it's affecting your mental health, you have to take a big step back away from it. So quite a few people in my life, people that I've known for 30 and 40 years, have stopped watching a lot of shows that didn't do anything but make you feel worse. And some people weren't conscious of how devastating it was to their mental health, but taking a step back away from it was beneficial. And that includes Royal Sussex. Your mental health and well-being is more important than anything else. So, when times are better, we'll be here. Don't worry about me, but take care of yourselves. That's very important. And also, as I always say, I should not be the only voice you're listening to. You need to have variety, because if you're only listening to one person, that's not good either. Okay, so there is Harry with Will Ferrell. Do I have a soundbite for this? I do have a soundbite, and my speaker is in the other room. Hold on, you guys. Oh, you know what? I don't need the speaker. I can do it through my other computer. I just thought about it. I hope that works out, because if I have to dig that thing out, I hope it has power. But that's okay. I'll do it like this. Let me grab my other PC. Okay, so this is Will Ferrell, and I need to go to, where do I have the soundbite? Let me think about that for a second. Okay, so anyway, you guys, Harry was at that soccer football game, whatever it was. So he was there. Now, what I found out is that this was one of the hottest tickets in town. Meghan was on the guest list, apparently, and this was considered to be one of the hottest tickets in town. And in spite of that, Meghan was like, ugh, I got a thing. And because they were on the guest list doesn't mean that they were absolutely positively supposed to be there. The thing is, because Meghan is the moment, it did not escape the notice of the media that she wasn't there, because there is such a hunger for all things Sussex. So right there, you can see Entertainment Tonight Television, and what's his name reporting. He actually spoke to Will Ferrell, and they were the ones who caught a glimpse of Harry and Leonardo DiCaprio. So, okay, so this ain't good. I don't see it. Let me try something else. I hope it's over here. If not, where did I stash that? Oh, Lord. Okay, that's not good. Now, I had this, at least I thought I had the soundbite. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't save it. Oh, okay. Wait, don't nobody help me. I got this. Please don't help me. I got it. I said I got it. I don't got it. I so don't got it. What did I do with it? Okay, I know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm just gonna have to try to find their okay. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Ain't that their theme song? Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Okay, let me try that. Now I have one for, that is so strange. All right, you guys, I don't know what I did with it. Where did I see that? Oh well, never mind. So anyway, I just wanted you to hear the soundbite, but I have no clue what I did with it. So never mind. But so Will Ferrell said that it was surreal, I believe was the words that he used, that he had an opportunity to speak to Prince Harry. It was like the excitement that, of course, the tabloid media, and I really feel awkward making a big deal out of it because I feel like we should not have to do that. But still, there is a pettiness inside of me that is saying, see, I told you so. I told you so. So for that reason, I feel obliged to say, I told you so. And that this in no way resembles the narrative that you all keep pushing, that the Sussexes are unwanted and unwelcome. I really do hate doing that. But since they have gone through all the trouble, I'm going through all the trouble to reinforce the idea that that the Sussexes are welcome, that they are a part of that community, and that there are people that value their friendship and their work ethics and such. So um, all I can say is until they stop, I'm not going to stop either. I'm going to keep pushing the narrative until I get tired. And you know me, I don't often get tired. Um, Whatever it takes, by any means necessary, etc. So that was about it. Also, well, actually, no, it's not, because I have some more that I want to share about that. The relationship with Leonardo DiCaprio. So it actually did not start on this occasion. It goes back a little bit further than that. Um, and I will explain. And yes, I am stalling because I'm still looking for that. I am stalling, and yes, I am still looking for it. I will not be defeated. You know how I am. Let me see. E.T. Hmm. Mm. Okay, let me try one more time and then I'm going to move on. Okay. And our cameras were the only ones to catch it. Well, that's true. E.T. was the only ones who found it. Found them together. What's his name? Kevin something. Maybe I saw it on YouTube. Hold on. I cannot believe I did not have that ready. Who am I fooling? It would have been weird if I did have it ready. Who am I fooling? It would have been unexpected if I had it ready. And that's why I make sure that I make these little mistakes like that, because I don't want you guys to think that you're on the wrong channel. If I do everything properly, then it would cause confusion and you all would think that you're on the wrong channel. And because I love you all so much, I just wouldn't do that to you. So, for that reason, that's why I keep messing up left and right, front, right, and center, so you guys will know that you're on the right channel. Um, does that make sense? Okay. All right. So we'll move on then. Because I promise you, I don't see it. Man, that's so weird. You know how it is, though. I don't know what I did with it. Huh. Oh, well, seemed like it should have been there. Okay, I give you guys. I give. I'm going to have to give in. I'm going to have to throw in the towel. Mm-hmm. Ha! Guess what? I still don't have it. All right, moving on. What's that, Lady T? I can't stay up too late with you, Baron. I be sleepy on the job as it is. Okay, we're going to move on then. All right, so Prince Harry and Leonardo DiCaprio team up to fight imminent threat to the beloved region of Africa. Forrest Whitaker and what's his name, Damon Hansu, have joined the Duke of Sussex and the Oscar winner in calling for an end to drilling destruction in the Okavango River Basin. So, yeah, there was a big story about that back in 2021. You can see here's another one on the right side. Leonardo DiCaprio joins Prince Harry's campaign to stop drilling oil in Africa. So when you see the two of them talking, it's not necessarily about some future production or something like that. It may very well be about the environment and nothing else. So there, of course, was some speculation like, oh, what were they talking about? Well, that's probably it. Is that they were talking about the the future of the Okavango, I hope I'm saying it right, River Delta Basin. So if you take a look here, you can see a Canadian company has begun drilling near Africa's protected Okavango River Delta, promising jobs for locals and endless fossil fuel for investors. So far, there's been no oil, but there have been big profits for the founders. And Harry had to walk a fine line with this because, as you know, a lot of these countries, a lot of people in these countries have been traumatized. People have been traumatized by the outside influences. And of course, like any government, you're going to find some corruption, some bribery, and misrepresentation somewhere. We don't have to look far. We can all look as close as our nearest city council to find those things. Well, when there's money from the oil companies involved, you can multiply that by a lot. So they told Harry to butt out. And they tell everybody, any white person, any European person, anybody that is not African, you have to walk a fine line. So Harry has not taken the lead so much as he has become someone who lends his face and his voice to make sure that the message is out there. And of course, he serves as president of African Parks, but he's not being pushy about it. In other words, he's not his brother. Okay? He's not his brother. This is the Delta. This is supplying food, water, and not just the water on the surface, but the aquifers, the deep underground aquifers, the well water can easily become contaminated by oil exploration. And as much as they try to convince people that, we won't harm the environment, we're very careful, accidents have happened and accidents continue to happen. So if you look there, October 14th, Prince Harry launches global campaign to halt drilling in Africa's Okavango River Basin. And again, Harry is a very trusted broker, but even he has his limitations. If you take a look there, key signatories, Prince Harry, Reinhold Magandu, Forrest Whitaker, Nemont Naquimo, Dr. Wes Seacrest, Leonardo DiCaprio, Damon Hansu, Michael Chase, Max Mayim Burkle, and so on. I don't see any other names that I recognize, but so Harry has been taking care of business. Oh, you like that one, huh, Diane Hawkins? I think that is one of the best photos that Harry has ever taken. I think I shared this yesterday. But yeah, that is one of his best photos. I mean, he has given you Eddie Bauer model. Okay. And let us not forget also that Harry managed to bring some United States officials to the river basin. I don't know if any of these people, I don't think they're included in this photo, but do you guys remember last year when Harry, through the weight of his, familiarity, I'm even going to just say celebrity because there is a bit of celebrity, but people trust Harry. So celebrity is not a bad word, but people trust Harry. They see him as an honest broker and sincere. And again, this is the largest population of what is it, sub-Saharan, or no, is it the Savannah Desert elephants? I think that's what they called it. But yeah, so this is the largest population, and they live right there in that delta. They cannot afford. There's 1 million people that rely upon those waters. It's vast, but it is also very fragile when it comes to oil exploration. And here's someone that's doing what has been done for thousands of years on one of those little flatboats, pushing his way through there as though he's on a gondola in the Venetian canals. But this is a way of life there. It's a source of food, water, and everything else. So it's very, very important. Yes, Harry is a philanthropist. He is. But not every philanthropist is trusted. People trust Harry. Yeah, he did. He got some senators. There was some senators. And some, I think, wasn't it a couple of billionaires or something? I forget the list of people that showed up, but these were some heavy hitters. If they drill here, our ecosystem is going to die. We will get no benefit from this. We will get nothing. And that is from someone who lives in Botswana, as you can see there, Lopang Najanga, a local guide from Botswana. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's a source of revenue for people that lead tours through the area, that take people on these safaris so that they can see the animals and hopefully not shoot the animals. But that is one of the things that is at risk. Now, to give you a greater perspective of what's happening here, take a look at that. That is the planet Earth. This is our home. And that is the sun glistening off of the delta. You can see how the sun is sparkling on that water that is providing life to 1 million people and tens of millions of animals that live in that region. And if you think it's so big that it cannot be destroyed by human intervention, you're sadly wrong. You're sadly mistaken. So this is a satellite view. You can see one of the solar panels of the satellite, but that is the Okavango Delta. Now, along with that, I just want you guys to bear in mind that Harry doesn't make up those Super Bowl moments. Harry does. William wants to be seen. William wants to put on a show. William wants to be looked at and exalted and carried around by people of color, while Harry managed to put together a lot of very wealthy and important and powerful people who likewise have an interest in the environment and also work closely with local inhabitants of this area so that Harry won't find himself being accused of being just another white person who seems to have good intentions and somehow mess things up. So again, we always hear people drag Hollywood. They say Hollywood as though that's an insult or a bad word. But yes, Leonardo DiCaprio does live in large homes. Yes, he flies private jets and so on and so forth. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't care about the environment. So there's a good chance that that's what the conversation was about. And as far as these things are concerned, everyone you talk to may not live an ideal existence as far as the environment is concerned, but it doesn't mean that their money and their words and their support, and of course, their signatures is not key and important to the outcome of these movements. So this is Harry's life. Harry does. William doesn't have anything like this to show for. Nothing. When he did have this so-called Super Bowl moment, he didn't even invite the recipients of the award. They had to stay home. And yet he flew in people, entertainers from the other side of the world. Of course, that would be Beckham. And of course, the girls that sang that night and everyone else. He himself, along with Kitty, flew over here to the United States. So what a load of hypocrisy that is. Harry does things. He doesn't make a big deal out of it. He just does it. So right there, Harry joins this always sunny stars, Glenn Howerton and Rob McElhenney at the at Lionel Messi's game or whatever. So this is the Harry that Hollywood has turned their back on. This is the Meghan that Hollywood has turned their back on. This is Doria, who, well, they still cannot figure out what to say about her, but they'll think of something. But I love the fact that all of them have these, you know, the three images together, three people together in these images. I love that. And of course, that is, oh my goodness, I can't remember her name, but that is her lawyer friend right there in the middle. Samantha? Oh gosh, what is her first name? But anyway, love that. Oh, so that's a television show, huh? I'm going to have to check it out. All right, thank you so much for that. And of course, there they are. Do you guys want me to? Oh, you know what? I don't have that one handy. You know, I love looking at Doria going, hey, maybe we'll look at that later. And right here, I'm not through dragging William yet. Prince William, let me see who wrote that, Claudia Joseph. Prince William made a conscious decision to put duty ahead of family after that M word that I never use, and will always prioritize the firm over his relationship with Prince Harry, their former private secretary, claims, right? In other words, lazy, work-shy Will, who back in 2019, take a look at this. Was that 2019? Or, oh, I'm sorry, that was 2017. Take a look at this. The date is March 15th. By March 15th, William, Workshop Wheels, Prince William, has done just 13 days on the job compared to the Queen's 24. 13 days he worked up until March. Now, this was the year that he skipped the Commonwealth ceremony and went skiing. William did. And in the meantime, Harry has been cultivating relationships like these to save the Delta that I think covers a couple of countries, 3 or 4 countries in Africa, the Okavango Delta. This is what Harry's been doing. I don't know what William's been doing, but that trip to Boston yield very little in terms of actual work. He was seen, but I don't know that he's done much work. So for you derangers that are hate watching, holler at your boy and tell him to get up off of his behind and do something. Tell him to step away from those pulled pork sandwiches and fulfill his duty as a future king. I think he's had enough pulled pork. There's only so many trips to there's only so many trips to Poland that we're willing to tolerate. Try to be more like Harry and less like that. And this article, this is the one from 2019. Let me see, is that one 2019? Is Will's lazy? Picture shows the prince having a grand old time. Now remember, this is before Meghan. These are the articles that came out before Meghan was used as the scapegoat. All of these photos are from the same article. Notice something about this. Do you guys notice something? Please tell me. What do you notice about William here that you don't see today? Anybody? What is it about the William here that is different from today? I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a moment. There is something different about him. No, it's not the hair. It's not the hair. Anybody? Yes, Leslie F. Yes, he's smiling back then. Today, he don't smile. And why isn't he smiling? Because he has to do some flipping work. That's why William doesn't smile anymore, because the party, a lot of you guys have it. I know there's a delay, so if you have it up there right now, then I know you got it. But yeah, he is smiling and laughing and having a good time. This is how they portrayed him back then, before he actually had to work. Back at the time when he could rely upon Philip and Lizzie and Harry and who knows who else to do the work, the Gloucesters and the Kents and all that. Now William has to work, and so that has wiped that smug little smile right off of his smug, pathetic face. Yeah, that article, I'm sorry, yeah, this one is Will's Lazy. That's also from 2017. So in 2017, they decided to name and shame him into doing work. And I believe that Charles or the Queen or both were concerned about the future of the monarchy because William wasn't working. And look at how Kate is thick as thieves. She's smiling right along with him. Now, the thing is, back in those days, that was a jovial smile. The smile that Kate has today, that is serving a dual purpose. One is to make her look younger and more youthful. And two, it is a side effect of whatever she's doing to keep the smile that helps her to look younger and more youthful. But I suspect that, I don't know if it's meditation or what, but there's something that's putting a pep in her step. There's something that's putting the pep in her step. I won't speculate further than that, but something is putting the pep in her step. Oh, and good morning, Anne. I saw you just a minute ago. Anne of Duchess of Success is here. But yeah, I saw you, and then I didn't say anything and lost track. But good morning to you. Okay, and then there's this. The King and Queen will join President and Mrs. Macron for a ceremony of remembrance and replaying at the Arc de Triomphe, marking the shared sacrifice of the past and enduring legacy of cooperation. And then, of course, they're going to have a bilateral meeting with Macron at the Élysée Palace. Their Majesties will be guests of honor at a state banquet. The Majesties will meet community sports group and well-known sports stars. In other words, business as usual. Address the senators and members of the National Assembly. The Queen Consort, don't try it, the Queen Consort, together with Mrs. Macron, will lunch in a new Franco-British literary prize at the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, or in other words, the National Library of France. They're going to have a luncheon and stuff. And of course, His Majesty and Mr. Macron will attend a sustainability reception. His Majesty will meet emergency workers and communities affected by the 2022 Bordeaux wildfires. Their Majesties will meet UK and French military personnel. The King and Queen Consort will attend great campaign event in Bordeaux. And the royal couple will tour an organic vineyard. And that's about that. So that is what they're going to do. That, you know what? That is a lot for those two pensioners, but I cannot wait to see their faces when they get on board the plane to go back to the UK. I can't wait to see their long, drawn down, exhausted faces, because you know Charles's face is already like Play-Doh. So I can't wait to see. And then, of course, Camilla, Queen of the Desert. Yeah, I'm looking forward to their long, exhausted, drained faces at the end of all of this. Now, I am going to end with this. I was working on this earlier. I do ask you to have an open mind. I'm going to share it as best I can. And yes, that is Matt of the Classy. And I just want you to hear his words. So if you guys are not interested, go ahead and get your sleep on. But if you want to stay, it's not that long. And then we're going to follow up with about a 20-minute video of the Invictus that I shared, I think, a week ago. But if you guys want to stay and have a viewing party for about 20 minutes after this, you can. But other than that, I am just about done for tonight. So let me play this for you.
All right, I hope you guys are ready for some tea because it's hot. I wasn't gonna address this and I didn't want to give it light, but you know what? Let's do it. I'm gonna start off by saying the UK, girl, evil. The media is evil. If literally the little bit that I've seen in regards to how they get treated, and like it's only been a little bit for me. So let's start off with Kinsey Game. In 2015, I won a contest for singing on Instagram to attend the H.R.H Awards for free. We had all access. At the time, she was a red carpet reporter for the show. So I got to meet her. She was really nice. She was really sweet. And we took a photo. Yeah, it was at the H.R.H Awards. Like there is a literal video. I'll literally loop it right now.
I think music is a gift to the world. I got a post on Instagram and I was like, there's no way.
Like I just freaked out. I almost fell back. Did I have a good time? Yes, that is how I know her. We have remained friends on Instagram. That is it. We have not hung out since that day. And another thing, I did not give her the exclusive, and I found out from everybody else. I had no clue that she took my video. I did not give the permission, and I've already submitted a claim to YouTube to take that down. And on another note, I didn't know how right-wing the show she had moved to was. All I know is that she used to like Meghan and Harry, and we used to chit-chat about it online to each other. That is it. That is the extent of the friendship. Nothing else. And on top of that, I thought it was nothing at first. I let it roll over my shoulder. I'm like, what's that she went on TV and said we were friends on a right-wing show? Like, I am completely opposite. If you look at the videos that I'm posting, it's clear we do not have the same opinion. As for covering my tracks, I know what's on the page. That photo is still there. I went to the H.R.H Awards. I won a contest. I loved that day. I kept it up. The reach that the UK is doing right now to try and spin this as if I didn't pay for my own seats and I'm best friends with the right-wing media. Like, none of this makes sense. As for the box seats, I have receipts, and here they are. And they're trying to spin it as if like, oh, I'm just going so hard for them. First off, I'm brown. I know what it's like to deal with racism. I also have married a Brit, so I had those same fears that I was gonna deal with racism. Luckily, I didn't. My husband's family is amazing, loving, supportive. Like, I love them to death. And the claims that I'm a lower level social media person trying to just get attention, first of all, you want the attention. Y'all are all up in my DMs trying to buy the rights to the videos, which I've sold to no one. Make it make sense. So in short, did I tell Kinsey or give Kinsey permission to post that video? No. Do I know Kinsey? Yes. Do I agree with what Kinsey says? Do I agree with her views? No. Do I think that she took the opportunity to try and use the situation to paint a picture a certain way? 100%. But at the end of the day, you're gonna believe whatever you want to believe, so that's just the facts. Come on. This isn't my first time at the rodeo. I've gone viral several times. It's not a big deal, but Jesus, it's a big deal when the UK media is involved.
Okay, so that's it. This has been exhausting for him, but he is continuing to defend himself. I believe him. He said he has not received any money for those videos. He has a very comfortable life, and he's married to a software engineer, so he's not wanting for cash. You saw the receipt for their box that they used, so I don't think that he has those issues. We know how the British tabloid media is, and it should be of no surprise that they have twisted everything that he said. They have gone through all of his social media to try to find an aha and got you. And sadly, and I don't blame the squatties for this, but I am kind of sad about it, but there's been squatties that, you know, also do their vetting to make sure that a person is on the up and up. And so when they saw Kinsey, that was aha. And I get that. But until we know better, I think it's wise to accept what he has said at face value. Los Angeles is the second largest city in the country, and the metropolitan area is vast. And in spite of that, it is also a very small town when it comes to people in the entertainment field or people that are in the orbit of entertainment. And so it's not unusual to know people. And people do look for opportunities to come up because of those connections. And so Kinsey, took advantage of her access. Now, I put the link to his video there. He dropped a few F-bombs. So when you heard the horn sound, I had to get rid of those F-bombs. But for those of you that do not navigate the TikTok, for your benefit, I decided to just go ahead and do this. And if you have any comments to share about it, feel free. But yeah, as squatties, we have been burned a lot. I have been the object of what do you call it? Some very vicious accusations. There are still some people who hate Royal Sussex, distrust Royal Sussex. They don't get what's going on Royal Sussex. I even had someone say, you shouldn't say those things about Edward because that's such and such and such and such and such and such, by implying that he's has fluidity or whatever. And yeah, I get that. But he also has a family. And, you know, I would never drag him in his face or anything like that. But, you know, we have a laugh here because I think that it's the best medicine to deal with some very stressful situations. And I know it helps me. And if it helps you, I'm glad for that. So I'm sure a lot of people, they hear like 5 minutes of Royal Sussex and think they understand everything. And that's okay because, you know, I'm not everybody's, I'm not to everyone's taste, and that is okay. I don't feel bad about it. I'm not going to fall over myself trying to win over people who just have their minds made up. That's fine. There's other content creators out there. But I will say this, it makes me very, very sympathetic. It helps me to understand situations like this that can get so out of hand. And as you can see, someone falls prey of suspicion because it seems like this might be this and that might be that. And everybody is Murder, She Wrote. And we're not. That is a television show. We make mistakes and we have some pretty wild assumptions sometimes. And the best I can advise you is to be patient and allow the truth to find you. Because if you're doing a bunch of digging and like trying to find all these threads to pull upon, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get some things wrong and you can't pull it back after you've thrown it out there. So take it at face value. We were given one of the best weeks that we've had probably since, I'm going to say, Dusseldorf last year. I'm thinking maybe there was something else, but I think it was probably one of the best days since Dusseldorf. And I don't want to second guess it to the point where it loses its luster because I'm still enjoying it. I mean, some of the squatties were awake for days watching it over and over again, back and forth to the spaces, talking about it and looking for the next video. The slow rollout, I thought that was really cool too, is that instead of getting all the videos at once, that we had that slow rollout and it was like looking for an Easter egg. We had more and more stuff to look for. So that's that. You know, agree or disagree, accept it or not, that is his version of it. And I hope for his sake that he's not in a position where he has to explain this again, because I fear for the future of the Sussex squad if these things happen like that so often. Not that it's going to turn someone or something like that, but just that you can't take that hurt back if you've made a mistake or if you assumed wrong, or, you know, and like I said, it's face value. I don't know this kid, but what he says made sense. And given the level of excitement in his voice at that moment, I could even understand why the some people, some of the derangers, which are people too, I can understand why they think he's a plant and why they think that the Sussexes paid him and this is just too good to be true. And I can understand why they believe that, because it is too good to be true. But I believe it to be true. I believe that he saw them, and it, just by chance. But just think if that was a deranger, or just think if that was a what do you call it? A paparazzi person or something that was in the next booth. What a nightmare that would be. So they wouldn't have found the best moments, they would have found the worst. And then we would be subject to that narrative for days on end. But, God is good, and that's not the case. So I say it's a win, and a win is a win. So I'm going to look at a couple of your comments. Remember, we're going to watch the Dusseldorf countdown again. If you choose to watch it, it's about 20 minutes long, but it also, I understand if you guys got to get your sleep on, because it is a work day for some people tomorrow, and I don't want to keep anyone up too late. So let me see what you guys have here. Sonia Johnson says, I am thankful for Matt. I am too. Let me see here. 1960 says, Matt is my hero. Yeah. And that was one of the things people said in the spaces. And I agree with that. We are very quick to declare someone a hero, and that's not good either. But I can only say patience is a virtue. If you're in doubt, please don't be so quick to throw accusations. Just be patient and allow the truth to unfold. It doesn't mean you shouldn't dig for the truth. We still need to trust, but yet verify. But we have to be patient as well. And we should never be more angry than the people that are directly affected. Let me see here. Leslie F. says, Baron, imagine King Charles' face this morning at breakfast when he saw Meghan on the front page of their New York Times. Laugh out loud. Yes. I have that from yesterday, right? I think I shared that yesterday, which would have been there today. Let me see if I can find that one. And it's a good picture. I really do like that one. I mean, as pictures go. Let me see here. I'll show you guys what I believe Leslie is referring to. Oh, there it is. I just passed it up. There you go. The Times. These are the times. The times are a-changing. And yeah, and they do get those papers. Let me see. Yalibi says, I believe him. I always did. This guy totally changed a narrative that could have been another attack on our faves. Some of the squaddies as well intentioned they might be should give him a break. I agree. I just don't. I don't see how we could go wrong with that one. And even Beyonce's concert Twitter account shared one of his videos. I mean, those videos were in Glamour. I forget, Harper's Bazaar. They tagged those videos in mainstream magazines. And that is going to go so far to humanize the Sussexes instead of the usual brutality through words that they suffer. Cannot underestimate how important it is to put a human face on some of the nastiness that are being pushed out in those papers. Okay, let me see. Buffoons meeting buffoons in France. Only big show unless masquerades expensive for French people with a huge crisis in their country. Yeah, it does seem like a terrible expense at a time like this, especially considering how the weather has been the past couple of summers. But a state visit, these state visits, whenever the Queen would meet with people, she would help to bolster them in their political lives. And I can't help but think that there's some type of political advantage for Macron to host Charles. And, it's a tradition. And if I'm correct, I believe that the president of France has access to all the trappings that the emperors, that the kings of France would have. They could use those royal residence. They get all the bells and whistles, and so I think some of the presidents of France, I feel like they're obliged to use it as it was intended, even though they're not a sovereign. Okay. So I'm looking back through some of your comments. Again, you guys, we are done for today. So if you need to bounce out of here, feel free to do so. Miss S says, good night, Bear, and good night, family. I just got home. Hope all are well. Yes, we are well. And thank you, Miss S. Glad you made it home safe. Alicia says, Harry needs to win his lawsuit against the press and collect big money from those lovers. Let me see. Will shut down the rest of them. Hopefully. Yes. Please make it so. Let's see. I hate to tell him that he can't tell his side until the cows come. He can tell his side until the cows come home, and yet they still won't believe him. What happened to Harry and Meghan after they repeatedly told theirs? Well, he said that he could imagine, I think that's what he said, that he's only been going through this a few days, and this is every day for Harry and Meghan. And isn't that the same thing that the biographer, Mortensen, is that his name? The one who was the ghostwriter for Harry's book? He went through hell. And Harry said, welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. It's one thing when people tell you about it, but it's a whole nother thing when this virtual world of social media becomes alive and is lashing out at you day after day after day. It doesn't make sense that, that the social media could drive people insane, could drive them to harming themselves, but it can, and it does, and it's a fact of life, because those lies that people tell, those stories, those fabrications, they become actionable events when some Looney Tune decide that they want to do the world a favor. I mean, the social media, that is why you've had on several occasions now where some young white man will get radicalized through the social media, and then he starts looking for Black people to attack so that he can create a race war. There are people that feel as though they have to create a race war. And look at how many times that immigrants are attacked because there's someone who has been listening to too much talk radio, too much social media, and they feel obliged to drive through a crowd of people because they think that they're protecting their country. You ring the wrong doorbell, and you may not see your family again because of this. So it is very real. As Meghan tearfully said, you're making people want to hurt me. It's real. Ken Ho, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. So yeah, and for a woman living by herself, like Carolyn Flack, living by herself, and having the world seemingly come down on her like that. Imagine the loneliness and the isolation and the pain that she must have gone through. She didn't have anyone there for her. anyone who got close to her was subject to the same type of scrutiny. And that is how that's one of the ways they're so abusive, is that they drive other people away. And that's what they've been trying to do to the Sussexes. They wanted the world to believe, and they were trying to convince the Sussexes too, don't get that wrong. They were trying to convince them that like some type of, abusive lover, they wanted the Sussexes to believe that nobody is going to rescue you. You have no friends. You're isolated. And just to make sure that the lie becomes the truth, they try to make life as difficult as possible for anyone that is seen in their company. I'll give you another case in point. They even go after dead people. We find out that the wicked Wilson Pickett's song was chosen for the reception, the wedding reception. And what happens? There's an article about a man who died years ago and his alcoholism, his police record, his drug abuse. And how in 2023, how does that, or was it 2022? How does that help put food on the shelves? How does that help subsidize the energy bill? How does that provide clean water? How does that create decent, affordable housing for masses of people? The answer is it doesn't. But yet, the Daily Mail literally went after a dead man to hurt the Sussexes. I think about that quite often. I try to understand, how did they come up with the idea of that, and what purpose does it serve? Wilson Pickett's been dead for years, and they had a whole article just because of the Sussexes. That is how the abuse works, is to isolate and demonize the target until nobody wants to be around you. And the trolls, the derangers, the hate listeners that's here right now, I look at some of the stuff and I don't believe, that it's a robot most of the time, or bots or whatever. These are people who know the power of their lie. They know the weight of their lie. They come into our spaces to try to humiliate us, to try to discourage us, to create apathy within the Sussex squad. And they do that deliberately, knowing it's a lie. I don't know what sane person still believes the whole moon baby or moon bump or whatever, but they say it as though they're telling the time of day. What time is it? She was never pregnant. What time is it? Those kids aren't real. I'm sorry, I just asked you. I'm telling you, they weren't real. They rented those kids. Those were actors, crisis actors. Okay. And this is what Matt has fallen into. Now Matt is a target. They have to find a hole in his story somewhere. And if they can't, it doesn't matter, because a lie is just as good as finding some type of fault. Another one is the Kardashians. I get why that bothers some people, but for everyone who's bothered by it, all I'm thinking about is the fans, and they do have fans, that don't know so much about the Sussexes, and somehow because maybe Doria is photographed next to a Kardashian, maybe they will be more curious to know the truth about the Sussexes, to know the truth about Doria. That's what my hope is. I don't want to win over the Kardashians for anybody, but positive exposure for the Sussexes, something that doesn't involve a car chase, something that doesn't involve blacked out windows on the side street, something that shows them being celebrated by other hardworking, famous, wealthy people. That's what I'm hoping for. How they got their money, I'm not going to get involved with that. So if some of you all that hate the Kardashians or are suspicious of the Kardashians could just look past that for the time being, or hopefully learn to live with it because it seems to be a thing. It may serve a greater purpose, is what I'm trying to say, is that it may serve a greater purpose. I honestly don't know enough about them. I've never watched any of their stuff. I only know what people have said about them. And I can only name one guy associated with them besides, what's his name? Kanye. Only one other guy I can name associated with them, and that's it. That is the extent of my knowledge of them. But I just want what's best for the Sussexes and for Doria, for the children. And we all got different ideas about how to get there. And I can't say anybody's wrong because I don't know if I'm right. But I do know that seeing people being normal, or the equivalent of what's normal for someone who lives in Billionaires Row, but seeing people just going about their day is very different from the idea that someone is somewhere plotting and scheming against humanity. And that's what people believe, is that, you know, they can only go by what they have been told and what they've been taught instead of who the people really are. So that's it. That's my soapbox moment. And I hope that's been helpful. You know, I don't suspect anybody has changed their idea or anything like that, but hopefully this puts a human face on some of the things that you may have heard. Let me see here. Mad World says, Baron, no matter what God has, Harry and Meghan, no man or woman can make or break them. You get a bell for that. Okay. Miss S says, if the Sussexes showcase their kids like bald mop and broom, bed knobs and broomstick, but bald mop is good too. Haters would trash them for being bad parents. They are protecting their kids, and they are being labeled as non-kids. They can't win. Yeah, you know, I draw a line when it comes to the children. That right there, that is totally on the parents. That has to be decided as a family. And no one from the outside should have any input with that. That has to be decided by the family, because we could not possibly know what's, you know, going on for those kids, what the environment is like, what's been said, or, you know, all of that stuff. I don't want to be too detailed, but use your imagination. I ain't got nothing to do with that. The kids are the kids, and those are their children, and they'll decide. I'm sure we're all in agreement. We just want the kids safe. We want those kids very safe, as normal as possible, which is why I was in agreement about their titles, because I couldn't stand the idea that the royal family would other those children. It's bad enough that the children have to stay away from the family so that they won't be mistreated. But to mistreat those kids from 5,000 miles away, I don't like it. That I do not have tolerance for that, othering those children. Willie would probably try to do something on his own, but othering those children, as if they done something wrong, no. Don't change the rules. That happens too much when Black people are concerned. Don't change the rules. Don't move the goalposts. I didn't like that. Thank you, B10. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play the video again. I think some of you all have seen it already. If you want to hang out and watch, you can. I will probably step away from the computer, but it's a good way to cleanse the palate and to prepare us for the Invictus Games. Okay. Yeah, I think so. It's a good way to cleanse the palate. And so with that, our last word for the day will be, let me find something appropriate. Oh, our queens. I didn't do our queens, did I? Let me find our queens. What's that Monte Crystal says? I assure you, Doria did not ask the Kardashians to pose with her. You can tell Kim jumped in. She almost fallen. It's no big deal. Actually, there's a video where Doria is having a very vigorous conversation with them. I have the video. It wasn't that Kim just jumped up out of nowhere. As a matter of fact, Kim was asked to take the photo, so it's not exactly what it appears to be. I could be wrong, but Doria seemed to be in the throes of a conversation with them. So maybe not, but it was a good event. Everybody was enjoying their time, and it's okay. I think I'll finish. This will be the last word. I'll tell you this story. So late one night, I'm listening to the talk radio, and there was a kid who worked at a country club. The mayor of the city in which he lived was a Democrat. The governor was a Republican. And every time there was something planned for the biggest city in the state, there was always these provocative words back and forth between governor and mayor, governor and mayor. Now, mind you, half of the people in the state lives in that city, and the other half lives in towns and rural areas. So this kid that worked as a waiter at a country club, he actually saw the mayor and the governor and their, cabinets and employees or whatever, their lieutenants, all sitting at the table, having a big laugh and showing pictures of their families, that kind of stuff, like it was a company picnic. And he said he realized at that point that the people that with their public faces are so different, especially toward each other, away from the cameras. Like, for instance, Speaker of the House McCarthy. I'm telling you, McCarthy and Joe Biden are best of buddies. They have to satisfy their constituents, but they're best of buddies. Let's go back to Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill. On television, in front of the cameras, they were lashing out and all that kind of stuff. But behind the scenes, they were two Irish Americans who had a brotherhood of being Irish Americans in the New World. And anybody who believed differently was too caught up in the politics. So, not trying to change your mind about it. I'm just giving you something to think about. All that is seen is not exactly the way it is. So, all right. So I'm going to play the video. That's our last word. I'll do the Queens tomorrow. All right. Good night, you guys. Enjoy the video, and I love you. I will see you all next time. Also, thank you to the moderators, as always, for keeping this a safe space. I hope this is the right list. Church Nelly, Lydia Washington, Most Shannon, Anastasia Isabella, Cookies and Cream. I got to change that, don't I? Sherry Ware, Black Queen, Sean, Lucy Wynn, and Elaine Parker. All right, thank you. Oh, and Connie Bomber. Okay, let's do the video.
I admire Prince Harry a lot. For him to be using his name to put attention to these games, I think it's really respectable. He's very genuine, and you can tell that he takes this cause at heart.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward it because for some reason that part repeated. I don't know how I did that, but here we go.
I'm U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Sean Reynolds, part of Team U.S. Invictus. Looking forward to see everybody in the Hague. Good luck to all the participants. Looking forward to bring home gold.
fuck, ja hoor. Ja hoor, ja hoor. Oh fuck, oh fuck.
It is my distinguished honor to introduce someone that I think you'll all be very excited to hear from. He has also spent many late nights and early mornings planning for these games to make them as perfect as possible for each of you. I could not love and respect him more, and I know that all of you feel the same because he is your fellow veteran, having served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan and 10 years of military service. He's the founder of the Invictus Games and the father to our 2 little ones, Archie and Lily. Please welcome my incredible husband, Prince Henry of the Duke of Sussex.
Hi, nice to see you. I'm going to see you tonight.
Yes.
We'll see you backstage.
Yes.
Are you enjoying yourselves?
Yeah.
Yes. I saw your little video the other day. You running up and down the track. Well done. Keep busy. See you later.
Okay. See you
Yes,
later.
bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
And he mentioned to them that he was going to see them later. Well, that was because they had an interview.
What is your wish for Archie and Lilibet?
To grow up in a better world. To grow up in a fairer world, a safer world, a more equal world. It's not going to be easy, but I will never, ever, ever rest until I, as a parent, have tried to at least tried to make the world a better place for them. Because it is our responsibility that the world is the way that it is now. And I don't think that we should be bringing children into the world unless we are going to make that commitment to make it better for them. We cannot steal your future.
Oh, Lord, I don't know what I just did.
Megan, you're beautiful!
To your right, please. Straight ahead, please. To your right, please. Sir.
love the shirt. Where did you get this shirt from? Do you want to swap?
Yes.
Next time. Next year.
Yes, okay.
Promise me.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. It's beautiful here. It's a beautiful city. Is it always this warm?
No. But it's a nice city, yes.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Ich finde sie super, ich finde sie sehr viel authentischer als Kate und William. Also ich bin mehr Harry und Meghan Seite. Ich finde es super, dass sie ihr Ding machen, dass sie das Richtige für ihre Familie tun und kann sie da nur unterstützen.
Harry with the baby!
Picture with Daniela.
Harry! Harry! The baby! Harry! Yeah, the baby! The baby! Can you take a picture with the baby? Picture with the baby.
Oh, Daniela.
We love your book. Yes, my daughter loves it. Yes, love it. So thanks for sharing your poem.
Push him, please, okay?
Sorry, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Very, very.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You look like you've been here for a while.
Oh, you waited 3 hours.
Are you okay? Are you drinking water?
Yes. This is Maureen and her husband. This is for you. Thank you.
Hi, Megan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So good. Yes. That's my wife. Hello.
Oh, nice to meet you.
You're 50 years here.
Oh my goodness.
Are you English and German as well?
I am German.
German, so you moved here for him?
That's a beautiful love story.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank
Harry,
you so
good to
much.
see you.
You are wonderful, Meg. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. It's lovely to be here.
Harry, good to see you. That's my wife, yeah.
Harry, God bless you. Nice to meet you.
That was my sister since 4 o'clock in the morning to meet you.
Oh my goodness, that's so kind. Thank you so much. That's really
Yes,
nice.
your letter.
Yes, we will.
She is for victim people, and she's for all the people there, and she did a great job.
Oh my goodness.
Harry! Mega!
Do you guys remember how angry they were when they found out that Germany had provided a plane to take them back to the UK? They flew in on a German plane, they flew back on a German plane, and the tabloids were like trying to make a big fuss about it, like who's paying for this and who's paying for that. Yeah, there were a lot of people that were so hot with them about that, but that ain't none of their business. The thing is, they were treated much better in Germany, only for the queen to die. And of course, they showed their true colors. No pun intended. So, That's the video that I wanted to share. I don't know how I got that other one going, but anyway, eventually we got there. But thank you so much, everyone who stayed for the after party, the watch party. Greatly appreciate it. I will see you all tomorrow. Remember, it's going to be a big day tomorrow. And then, of course, that is just going to roll right into the Invictus Games. So sweet dreams, and I will see you all later. Okay? Love you guys.